What's up, everybody, and welcome to G2KAPA, the show that stands for whatever it happens to be that week. But today it's Get to Know a Promo Artist, and we are with my very good friend and a pillar of the original NGT, AlexCutsPromos. How you doing, Alex?
Howdy, Hugs. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. This is a long time waiting. You were actually going to be my second ever guest that I had, and it just didn't work out that way. And now this is like
the polls
7 or something.
Yeah, like the polls are a bit skewed. I had to come join Heel Club to finally win a poll, but
at least you're not Zach.
Yeah, poor Zach. Once he rejoins Heel Club, he'll probably win a poll. Give it like 3 or 4 months.
You are one of the names that's basically synonymous with NGT.TWF, of course, the original NGT. And a lot of people may not know this, seeing the huge influence you are now. Of course, you're in Heel Club, but we saw the storyline with that. If you don't follow, you were forced to join Heel Club. You, of course, led the Future in Crispy's absence. You've been an absolute beast. You were in the Future of Face Club. And even before that, you even took part in a tag team battle over some Baja Blast. But you actually are one of the main reasons that NGT exists today. Would you like to talk about how you got into NGT?
Yeah. So I started TikTok through D&D. I was quarantined. I was alone. I was bored, sitting at home, working from home. Found TikTok, and I started making them through D&D content. But I started getting some wrestling stuff on my FYP because Scorpio Sky was one of the first people I followed, just because of his amazing memes. One day I ran across Matt Thomas, and he was doing the storyline with Heel Josh, which turned into the hair versus hair. Then we got the martyr. That's how I inevitably ran into you. And I think it was the first time TikTok was being threatened to be taken down. I was like,
one of the many.
This is going to end. Yeah, the one of many. I was just like, if this is going to go by the wayside, I want to try and join the promo community. I want to have a promo battle. And so I reached out to the only wrestling TikToker that followed me back, which was Heel Hugs. And 2 weeks later, NGT was born.
Hey, man. Well, what was cool was, so when we were doing TTWF, which was all Ryan, aka the Macho Fan, that was all his doing. We were just a bunch of guys messing around doing stories, and I complained a lot, as I am wont to do, about we needed rules, we needed age limits. I was a tag champion. I needed to know who I had to defend against. We needed a roster. And, Ryan was doing that, but we had a set roster. We had a set limit. There were certain guys. And I was like, there's all this raw talent. There's all these people that just kind of want to try it out. Maybe they don't want to really commit to it or make a huge deal out of it. And I remember talking to you and watching your D&D content, which we'll get to a little more in depth with that. And I was like, see, this is perfect. This is the guy that I'm looking to have join this developmental league. You were the exact reason why I wanted to make something other than TTWF, and a huge part of why we are successful. So I'm very thankful, not only for your friendship, but for what you've done for NGT and now NGT.TWF. So I appreciate you.
I do the best that I can.
So we'll get back to that and your current status as a legend, as a pillar. What got you, when you first came into TikTok, were you immediately doing D&D content, or what was that like?
So I was scrolling through the typical FYP stuff, just the thirst traps and this and that and the other. And I don't know where the first D&D TikTok actually came from, but I was a pretty adamant D&D player. I played in a couple groups. I brought my college friend group back together through D&D. And I started seeing all these memes, and I'm like, I think I may be able to do something like that. And I put the first one out there, and it did well. And it kind of snowballed from there. It was one success after another, after another, after another. And then I just accidentally blew up for a minute and just carried that momentum.
I love accidentally blew up. I absolutely love your comment. And we're talking about thirst traps. I mean, anyone who's seen your account, you got to check out not only Alex Cuts Promo, but Alex Rolls Dice. Alex Does Plenty is your Twitch channel. So if you are interested in Pokemon speed runs, and I always say Pokemon, I'm like, I don't know what accent that is or something. But if you're into Pokemon speed runs, if you are into D&D content, if you're into excellent promos, make sure to follow him on all his socials, which will be linked below. So getting into the D&D TikTok, what were some of your early influences? Like, I know you don't know who the original one was, but who were some of the bigger content creators you were following on D&D TikTok, in case people are interested?
So there's been quite a few that have actually left the platform, moved to YouTube. People like Offbeat Outlaw, One Shot Questers. They were really big, and they weren't, like, they were getting suppressed, and they moved over to YouTube. But there's quite a few now that have come up, taken their place. Ashley D&D, I can't remember the actual name. She was a big one that I started following early on. I ran into Cats with Dice pretty early on, and he has actually become one of my closest friends. But just reaching out, having that particular community, and it just kind of grows from there. Like you find one and it snowballs out into like multiple genres. You find these small creators, you find these big creators, but everyone's working towards this common goal.
I feel that. That's definitely something that's huge with us here in the Promo Battle Leagues. When you find that community, when you find those like-minded individuals, it honestly makes not only creating content better, but it makes everything better. And I know you've lost a few members of your party along the way, but I know there's a certain gentleman that I decided to ask to join us today who is a huge member of your party, and that is OMG, It's Crispy, another pillar. Another great friend. And I asked him to join us here today. So
Crispy's always riding my coattails. Gosh.
Hey, I hit him up. I saw him in chat, and I was like, hey, man, what are you doing tonight? Would you like to come surprise Alex on his episode of G2KAPA?
I got to spoil everything for you, Alex. I'm sorry.
Hey, man. I'm very excited about this. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to make fun of him and say that that's why I asked him to be my manager, so he could ride my coattails a little more.
There you go. So, I was talking about me and Ryan and how we got together in TTWF, NGT, NGTTWF, all of those acronyms or whatever you want to say, abbreviations.
There's so many T's.
Yeah, there's so many T's. We got all the T's, okay? But you guys really were the first ones who I was like, wow, like, I saw you guys as me and Ryan. And I was like, this is cool. Like, me and Ryan just found each other. I thought it was two stars colliding, just somewhere out there, that it would never happen again, right? One in a lifetime. And then I saw like how close you guys got. And it made me, like, I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about it. Like, people don't understand how seriously I take this community. And it's because of relationships like you guys that makes me love this community more. So I'm so glad you guys found each other. Can you kind of talk about how that went down? Or like, Alex, if you want to go, because this is your episode, and then we'll hit Crispy after.
Yeah. So basically, I had followed Crispy for one reason or another, just because I was following all of the NGT superstars, and just so that way I could see more content. And Crispy has this much larger following than I did, still does, and he had the ability to go live where I didn't, and he would go live during his drives home, or if he was just chilling at home, he would just hop on live. And there was like a small group of us who would just be in every one of his lives and just bug him to death.
Hey, I used to be in there, and Dre used to be in there, and that's how the battle was over there.
And that was the thing, like, that was the catalyst to the friendship, because like Crispy was talking all this smack about how he was going to buy a Baja Blast and just chuck it. And I was like, oh, well, I just have 2 free Baja Blasts that I got from Taco Bell because someone got the wrong order and they didn't want the Baja Blast. They're just like, do you want these? I was like, sure. And they had sat in my fridge for like 3 days. And I'm like, all right, I'll film this. And That's how our friendship started.
The best part about this entire scenario for me is there's a video out there from what I didn't really know you guys that much. Like you were newer to the league and it was just kind of a thing. But there's a video of me going to Taco Bell to go get Baja Blast, and I was like talking to my wife, and I'm like, "Somebody, it's for Alex and Crispy," and she's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Exactly."
I remember that because that was like the first time that you name dropped me in a non promo way, and I was like, this is epic.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that the other day, and but it was really cool. So from your perspective, Crispy, you'd been on TikTok. You did have a little bit of an audience already. I know you had like 5 or 6K when we met. I don't know. I know you're at like 6K or something. I don't remember what you were at that point. But anyway, you had a little bit of an audience, and I do remember your lives and stuff. So what was it from your perspective? Were you looking to make friends on TikTok?
I mean, always, I've always been one of those people who likes to interact with people. That's why going live was so cool for me, because I could talk to people, I could get to know people, and like Alex said, that was really the catalyst of our friendship, because I believe it was in the live, when Dre had popped in and I was ordering Taco Bell and I got a Pepsi, and he lost his stuff about Baja Blast. I remember that's when you had came in. And you're like, what's going on? And Dre's like, Chrissy's pulling a heel turn. And you're like, cool, I'll take him. and it was, and I think that the day that happened, I was live and I was ordering, and I'm like, I'm going to get a small Baja Blast. And I was like, if Dre comes in, I'm throwing it out on live. If not, I'm recording a video. And thank God he didn't come in, because that one video was what sparked the whole community going crazy over a soft drink. And Alex is like, if you do it, I'll do it. And then when we got booked in the Baja Blast beatdown, we just, from that moment on, we were tight. We would have 3-hour phone conversations and stuff, and we would game plan everything, and it was such a good time.
Hey, we even have a Baja Blast Club t-shirt, heel club t-shirt now because of this. You know what's hilarious? And I'm going to out myself. I know I've probably said it before on other platforms, but I'm going to put it out here with the 2 guys that it matters to. I'm not even that big of a fan of Baja Blast. it's just a meme. It really is.
Exactly. I don't hate. That's the thing too. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I don't really genuinely care to spend money to pour it out, but because it triggered people, it was fun.
When I go to Taco Bell, my go-to bev, Wild Cherry Pepsi.
Right there. Wild Cherry Pepsi.
You have it. No, you also have a Baja Blast.
I don't.
He's like, just in case this doesn't go the way I'm ready.
You hit me up as I'm in the Taco Bell drive-thru, and I'm like, oh, it was after I'd ordered. Otherwise, I totally would have just been like.
That's my go-to, though. What is your go-to beverage, Alex?
Pepsi, no ice.
Ooh, I also am a no ice man.
I'm a light ice,
the drinks
but some days no ice.
Drinks are cold enough, and it's just wasting space.
This is why we understand each other. We understand each other at a fundamental level. Crispy, I get you, okay? Light ice is great, but here's the thing. They never do light ice. They just give you the same amount of ice you would normally get. They never give you light ice.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, he doesn't know what he wants.
I once had somebody at McDonald's tell me, they're like, hey, what you should do is order it with no ice and then ask for a small cup of ice. And that way, cause we never poured light ice in there. We don't know how to measure light ice. I'm like,
exactly. I want 1 ice cube. That's all I want.
Can you just 1 solitary?
That's right. All right. So Alex,
I've actually had somebody at a restaurant do that. I said no ice, and they're like, yeah. I was like, no ice, and they're like, I'm gonna put 1 ice cube in it. And they did. And I go, all right. So I tipped them 1 cent.
Nice. That reminds me, have you ever done the tip game where you'll take 10 or $20 and lay it on the table and then take money away as people do stuff? I've always thought that was super cruel. To just be it's going away now.
Yeah, I've never done that. I'm mean. I'm not evil.
Yeah, I was like, I had a friend who did that, and I was like, this is just a surefire way to make sure they do stuff to our food, and I'm not for it. I'm not living here right now.
Yeah.
So this is really cool. I've always wanted to do more of like a little round table thing, and I thought this would be the best time to do it. Of course, having you, Alex, because like you and Crispy, you guys are peas in a pod. Also, you know, you guys are very close friends. I love both of you guys as well. The cool thing for me right now, of course, you guys are two of the NGT originals, two of the pillars, two of the guys that I said would be the future of the company. And I mean, I'm pretty smart because you are. But the extra cool thing for me right now is when Crispy did his episode, not Heel Club. You guys are both in Heel Club now, which honestly, did we think that this day would come?
No, I thought for sure I was going to withstand the test of time, being that one person that said I'll never be Heel Club. And
I thought
just the way the stars aligned.
I thought for sure you would join, Crispy. I didn't know for sure if Alex would ever join. I didn't know.
I see that.
There's always a reason for things that I do.
That's all I'm going to say. Heel Club has a little bit of a rep, deservedly, but there's layers to Heel Club. There's different levels, there's different groups, there's different cliques, you know, and it's so sometimes people don't appreciate the whole, but like they get it once they're inside it and see like how things work. It's a beast. It's definitely a big beast, but I'm very glad to have both of you guys in there because like it is a family to me. I've always said Heel Club is bigger than the leagues. Heel Club is bigger than everything to me. So you guys being already a part of my family, being the NGT originals, you guys are a part of my family, but being within Heel Club like makes me feel something. So that's very good. Now both of you have huge matches coming up. Talking about the promo leagues, TikTok-mania.
It's time.
We have the potential of Crispy bringing home, again, after learning his lesson and having to go away for a little bit, the fifth and forgotten pillar, Zach Levay. But more importantly, we have Praise Be to Bulletproof about to bring home the Intercontinental Championship to Heel Club. I'm so excited. How do you feel about facing Remy Cassidy? This will be coming out on Sunday. So you may want to like have a caveat in case you.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like honestly, working with Remy is just like since I've seen him start, I was like, I want to work with this guy because me and him can tell something great. And I think we are building up to it, and like Remy's another one of those guys, just everything pushed to the side. Remy's one of those guys that I talk to on a daily basis. Like it's Crispy, it's Remy, it's Zach. Like those three are just like the people that I've built around. So just like being able to communicate with these individuals and pick their minds is great. But as far as like in character, I'm going to destroy Remy Cassidy. I am going to beat him up and take his lunch money, and those are his words, not mine.
Don't worry. Well, you're the accountant. I was gonna say, who's the Heel Club accountant? I was like, we need the conversion rate. You're gonna have to once we take his lunch money, you're gonna have to figure out the conversion to US.
I mean, I hit him with a conversion yesterday, I think.
See, I still haven't seen the promos. I didn't stream today. I'm streaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing I've never done 4 days in a row. And I'm going to try to watch Mania and do live reacts to Mania as well as TikTok Mania. Like, it's going to be a whole thing. I'm very excited about it. I'm very nervous about it. But I am so excited to see the build that y'all have had. And I'm just beyond proud of both of you guys and everything that you do. For me, I feel like it's for me because NGT like just feels like such a huge part of me. Both of you guys have been staff forever. You guys were like really the first like homegrown staff. You know what I mean? Everybody else was like friends of mine from the other company before, you know, TTWF before everything. You guys are my proof of concept. Like none of this exists without you. And I know it sounds sappy and I keep saying it, but like you guys mean so much to me. And I honestly don't think you'll ever realize. Now moving on from that, it's time to ask silly questions. And Crispy, I know you didn't have time to prepare for this, but if you have any crazy, silly questions you'd like to ask Alex, I would love to hear what his best friend can throw at him.
That's a good question, but
I'll
think about it. You go first. I'll think about it.
All right, Alex, I got to go into the D&D questions first, okay? What is your favorite class, and what class do you think I and Crispy would be in real life?
Okay, so if I'm just doing straight 20 level 1 class, it's monk.
Okay.
Just because I don't like to think when I play D&D. But when I multi-class, there's a Bard Wizard combo that does basically just messes with every single roll that anyone ever does, and it's just so much fun to cause chaos.
So it's a troll.
Yeah, basically. And as far as classes go, Crispy would probably be... He'd probably be a rogue. I could see him as a rogue. He seems a bit sneaky, devious when he needs to be, but ultimately he can do things for the good. And as far as you, Hugs, you like there are some days where I'm just like, you're a wild magic sorcerer. Like you are the king of chaos. Like
I could see that. I could see that.
You hit wild magic every single roll. And then other days, you're just a barbarian. Like a barbarian bard multiclass. Like you have a +20 in intimidation because you could speak words into existence and make people afraid. And you're smiling the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe it. People think it's a character. It's not a character. The common misconception is that there's a character. Heal Hugs is my baseline. The Titan is when I'm angry. That's literally just all it is. Like that is 100% who I am. Now, I do want to ask a question, and this is kind of a fun question, whatever. But like, what has been your favorite character that you've portrayed? We've had the Dungeon Messiah, and now we have like your newer version here of like the Bulletproof character. But like, what about your Thirst Trap dance character with the pigtails? Or is it onesie vibe check battle, Alex?
Whoa.
Or is it Alex rap? What is the Alex? Alex does beats or whatever? What is your rap?
Oh, DJ Bulletproof. DJ.BP.
DJ Bulletproof.
DJ.BP.
There you go.
I think... So I'll tell you, one of my favorite characters I played was when I was doing the Leader of the Future, and I was doing that very cocky, arrogant, like button down with like the top 3 buttons open, like because that is 100% not who I am. Like I am very just contained. I'm not out there. I'm not arrogant. Like the confidence level's not up there all the time. So it's nice playing someone completely different from myself.
Okay. I dig that. I definitely get that. It's a good outlet to be able to try those things that you normally wouldn't do in real life. Now, here's my question. Who has been your favorite opponent?
Ooh. There's so many good ones.
One right here.
I think
I wouldn't say him. Don't pick him.
I mean, honestly, like story-wise, Crispy was my favorite opponent, just because the story of just the back and forth of like, I'm not gonna fight you, you're gonna fight me. I'm not gonna fight you. All right, well, I'm gonna just disband everything and leave.
And the thing too about that story was we worked everybody. There was so many people in his DMs, like and we didn't like between me and him, we told each other, okay, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this, I'm gonna post this. But in like our group in the FOF, we played it like it was real life.
Oh yeah.
Everybody believed it. We had everybody thinking he wasn't gonna show up. Well, and then it wasn't until like
right, Alex, you thought you were facing me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like from the get-go, I thought I was facing you, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna face the Titan, and I'm gonna get destroyed. But dadgummit, I'm gonna give him a good fight, and then I get Crispy instead.
I was so excited because me and Crispy knew the whole time, so I was so excited that you guys were gonna have to go against each other because I love chaos.
I didn't know that I was facing Alex though. All you told me was you were like, I'm gonna give you my spot, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then you announced that you're like, I have to pull a heel move. Like, what am I if I just give you a spot with no caveat?
Good guy.
But I do want to mention, Crispy, I do want to mention that we had that whole story in place where you said, like, if I didn't face you, you were going to disband the FOF and you were going to leave. Spoiler alert, you disbanded the FOF and you left. I fought you and you still did the thing.
Okay, you're right.
I mean, you went with him.
You're not wrong.
We're reunited,
You
and it feels so good.
broke the FOF. You go to the future. You leave the future. But see, Alex, the best friend, the brother in arms, always by your side. But I dug that match. My personal favorite match you ever had was against Zach, also in that U.S. title tournament. That is the hype's building into that. The match promo, everything was like top notch. I still tell people to this day one of my favorite promo battles ever in the history of the company. And I do think you and Remy has all capability of being that next one for me, because Remy, I am a huge fan of his as well. Absolutely love the guy. Super, super amazing dude. Hope to have him on really soon as well. Who, other than the people that you faced, is the opponent that you would love to face the most? Like, let's have two categories of this. Let's say someone who's not like a huge star right now, and then like your MVP superstar pick, like Lou or something. Mr. Professor.
Yeah. So I can definitely say the established one would be Nick Harrison. Just because, like, if you're not challenging people that you think are absolutely better than you, then you're not getting better. And Nick Harrison scares me.
I was going to say, I've seen ACP fears Mr. Professor.
ACP fears Nick Harrison. And the up-and-comers.
It doesn't even have to be an up-and-comer, but I'm just saying, like, everybody's going to go for, like, oh, I want to face Lou or Nick or Ryan, you know, like those types. Like somebody who's just, you know, not like the established, like, name, but not Remy or Crispy or
whatever. Right. So that has to be between Nigel or WrestlePunk, because like I've had WrestlePunk in the Scramble, but we've never had a one-on-one match. And Nigel is one of those guys that when he is firing on all cylinders, he can take down anyone he chooses. And I think WrestlePunk honestly could be that way too. Like I've seen a lot of his stuff and he's hit really hard, and then just some of his stuff, just it doesn't find the mark. And it doesn't make sense why it doesn't find the mark, but
I've said that a lot, that there's something missing. I can't tell what it is, but there is something missing that I can't, you know, just quite put my finger on. Now, somebody that I would really like to see you face, I don't believe you've ever faced this person, but they are Heel Club. I just feel like you guys would have great chemistry as a tag team and as opponents. Imperial Sean Pittman.
Ooh, that would actually be a good one. That name floated around.
I feel like you guys are both like very smart with how you do your promos. You're very methodical. I feel like great tag partners and great opponents.
I absolutely agree. I think that would be a killer match.
I think I know a guy. Probably make that happen. I'll make that happen at some point. Okay. Favorite video game?
Oh. So this is going to be weird considering what I stream mostly. Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh. Favorite Kingdom Hearts? Is it the original or?
Birth by Sleep is actually my favorite, just because I like the whole like intertwining stories that come together at the end. Like because you branch off and you play 3 separate stories and they all intertwine, and when you get to the end after seeing all 3 and you're like, oh, everything makes sense now. Like, what was that movie? Was it Love Actually, where there's like 5 different things going on and they all convene?
I like that. I'm a big fan of like that. I like shows like that, like Sons of Anarchy, Game of Thrones, where you get the threads throughout the entire season. You're like, I don't really see everything that's happened. Then in the final, it's like all of it comes together. I love that. Crispy, have you come up with any questions that you can ask your BFF?
Yes, I would like to know, how often do you wear the skirt when you're not on camera?
And the onesie. The
onesie too, yes.
So the answer to that is the same, but for different reasons. The answer is none. The skirt, because that is not my typical attire. I prefer just like nice basketball shorts lounging around. And the onesie, because I live in Florida and it's 90 degrees all the time.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Do you have any more, Crispy? Or Or is
That
all
was
you
just
had?
the one that popped. That's all I had.
That is a very important question. That is a very important question. I have one more question as far as like talent goes. Who do you see that is the next ACP?
Oh, the next ACP. I mean, I did hand off my Messiah gimmick to Xander Cage.
Do you
So
really
I
see him
think
being
with a
you,
little,
though? Like,
I think with a bit more building, if somebody works with him one-on-one and just tries to get him to understand, like not necessarily to say the same thing over and over in every promo, I think he could kill.
he does have intensity. It's really like, I mean, I hate saying this because people always get trashed on for this. He needs a writer. Realistically, he needs a writer.
Yeah.
Just keeping it real. And some people do. I mean, not all actors are great at improv, or, like it just is what it is. Some actors can kill the lines on the page, others can't. I think he would benefit from that. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I think is the next ACP. Somebody that I think could be similar to you in a way. Like this might be a weird pick, but I see Ewan.
Oh, Ewan is fantastic. Like Ewan's one of those guys who's just like, he was well groomed in the juniors, and now that he's come up here, like he's killing it up here. No, do not.
Disclaimer.
Oh, words
Chris
are hard.
Hansen,
I hate
have a seat.
words are hard. My apologies. So he already has the
flip-proof personality. Like his undisputed, that personality. I feel like he has that edge that you do, where he's really smart, he's impassioned, but he also has that kind of like, I'm going to touch fire today. He has that unburned kind of quality that you have that I appreciate in your promo style.
I see it. I definitely see it.
Okay. Now, what I want to finish off on here, I know we're running a little late. We had Crispy as well, so I wanted to make sure we get everything involved. But this is something that involves both of you, okay? There's been some interesting developments lately. You are 2 of the 5 pillars of the community, but there has since been a new group, or literally I just named 6 people in chat and they turned it into a group called the Killers, okay?
Killars.
With the A, okay? How do we feel about pillars versus killers? And who do you think are the strongest killers? Name 2 of the 6, because there's 6 of them.
I'll let him take the lead. I've already got mine, but
I mean, Relic is, I believe, the number 1 choice out of the killers. I'll let you have the second one.
I can't say anything. I'm literally going to move and live with it. It's like a friend.
Of the strongest, I would have to say, so Relic was honestly my first pick too. I would say the second being Remy. Because Remy, to me, he rarely has off days. Like, he can honestly cut one of the best promos on any given Friday, and it's not too often you see him slip up, have a bad day, fumble, and if he does, he owns it. So
you guys are about to get killed by A1, Jared, Nigel, and Painmaker. They're all going to come for you guys.
Well, so my second is, it's really close between Remy and Painmaker. Okay. Like, because they both rarely have off days. Like, as Crispy pointed out, like their promos are usually extremely fire, and the 1 or 2 weak spots we may see here or there are just like, their weak spots are like better than a lot of people's best spots.
Yeah, definitely, hands down.
I feel that. What is your second, Crispy?
Because
I want to know who's going to be offended.
Well, here's the thing. So he took, we'll say he took Relic and Painmaker. I took Remy. I would say second one.
Yeah,
I'd have to give it to Nigel. No, I'm sorry, but Nigel is one of those that, like, like he said earlier, when he's on, and but it's hard. It's
Nigel
exactly
around, so that makes sense. Especially you have history with Nigel, very specific.
Me and him were a part of each other's first matches, and we definitely want to run it back one day.
I dig that. Now, is that also who would you want to face? This is my last question for Pillars versus Killers, because eventually it's going to happen. We're getting Pillars versus Killers. Who do you want to face as your killer opponent? And would you bring on a sixth pillar, or would you eliminate a killer? If you had to eliminate a killer, who would it be?
I would rather bring on a sixth pillar, personally.
Agreed.
So that way nobody's feelings got hurt on the killer side. We really don't need bruised egos from them.
Okay. Who do you have anybody you'd like to name as a sixth pillar idea? You don't have to. I'm just, if you want to.
I mean, there has been a name thrown around, and Crispy, do you want to say it?
I named someone else as a pillar.
I don't want to say it because I want that to be the pop when this time comes, because we all know it's coming.
But do you know, canonically, I named an additional pillar?
No.
I did not know that.
I did not.
It was a very specific match that was had between two individuals, and I said these two are pillars of the original NGT. It was a championship match, actually. But anyway, so
you'll be scrolling through all your VODs later.
So who do you want to face? That's what I want to know. And then I'm gonna end it off with something special. Who are you facing, Alex? Who's your killer opponent?
Do
you want to go?
Well, I mean, I've already fought Remy, so like that feels like a cop out because I plan on beating him this Friday or this Saturday, so it's not fair to do it twice.
Fair enough.
So because I think I know Crispy's answer, so I'm gonna have to say Nigel.
Okay, I would love to see that match. Actually, I feel like there's been a lot of ascension since past matches. Who's yours, Crispy?
A1 Nero.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yep. Oh yeah.
See that?
We need that. We need that payoff for that green light, because nothing's came yet.
Yeah.
If not A1 Nero in that stance, my second choice would have to be Remy.
Okay.
Because I feel like me and Remy would put on one hell of a match.
I selfishly would love to see you and Relic go out. Like, I would love to see in the future. Cage, if you're watching, buddy, because I know you do, I love you. I want you to reign for 1,000 years as Universal Champion, okay? But in my world of worlds, I would be giddy as like a child seeing Relic versus Crispy for the Universal title. Like, that would be a dream match for me. Just as like someone who has poured my heart into this league, you guys are two of my closest friends, like I would love to see that over the title that like I won. Like, it was the only time I've held the world title. It is what it is. I feel like that would be really rewarding for me. I think that'd be super cool.
I would love that. I mean, because see, you said pillars and killers. If it was something on that state, hands down Relic, because Relic is honestly one of my favorite, one of the most improved from his time he started to now. It's insanity, and
for sure,
I would. That's one of my dream matches right there.
I would also like to point it out. Alex picked 2 Heel Club members as the strongest of the killers. I feel like he's much more Heel Club focused than you, Crispy. How dare you?
I'm going off pure stats here, okay? Like it's to be fair, he did take my Heel Club pick, so and Remy was once Heel Club.
That is true.
Does that count?
I can't deny it. I have told him.
Remy is Diet Heel Club, okay?
One day he'll be back, especially when Zach's back. He'll be back. All right, Crispy, but thank you for joining, man. I'm gonna finish up with Alex
Glad to be here.
Appreciate you coming through, and we love you, man.
Y'all have a good day.
All right, buddy. This is the moment of truth because I'm so excited for who you talked about being the strongest killer here, because I would like to know what your opinions are of Relic.
Is this the thing?
This is the thing.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a little story. There was this club, this stable within a club that was formed here recently. And I kind of took offense to the name. Because how can you have a group called Cutthroat in NGTTWF without Alex Cuts Throats? So tonight, exclusive to G2KAPA, I am announcing that I am the newest addition to the Cutthroat stable.
I'm so excited. And I got a very special thing for this right now. And shout out to Crispy for sending me this. Baby, on my nuts though, cause I don't give a fuck, ho. There we go. And I don't know if you'll actually use that because of the lyrics in it and whatever. I don't know, but I made it. It's a thing. Shout out to Crispy for that amazing logo. Hey, Crispy, great logo. Great job. Love it.
You know, I will probably grab that logo and use my music with it.
Yeah, I feel that. But I'm very excited to see you in Cutthroat, man. You literally embody what this group is. And as soon as me and Relic were talking about it, you, especially if you win the Intercontinental Championship, it is what it is. I really don't care. Relic has the opportunity to become the next gen champion. He could win or lose. I really don't care. 100 Proof, the greatest tag team in the history of this company, the undisputed tag team champions. There is no greater four-man team in history than this in the NGTTWF. Speaking as a member of the first five, is the first one. I'm going to call myself the first one, okay? This is going to be the four horsemen of NGTTWF. Everyone should tremble in fear. Cutthroat is going to be something that people will talk about forever, and it is because you are there as well. And I want to end this episode with that. I am so excited to finally have you on, my friend. I appreciate it. I know this is just one of very, very many. We could talk for hours and hours, and thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Oh, yeah, brother.